Hello, hello. Snipes back. We're doing another Draft League tourney game, and today it is Ryszard versus Kendall. Ryszard playing for the Punishers, Kendall playing for the Foxes, Resistance versus Scum. And I'll get over these lists in just a second. Alrighty, so we see the Resistance list. Oops, echoing. Echoing. Alright, we see the Resistance list with Zori, with Plasmas, ZZ, the Procket version, Solandra Javos, which I've only seen one other time. It's after you partially execute a maneuver, you may gain one strain token to rotate 90 to 180 degrees. So you can ram into your opponent and just rotate anyways. And then we have Poe, the normal version with Predator, Heroic, and R4. And then Nimi, her ability is if there's a ship that's a higher initiative than hers, she can change one blank result to an eyeball. It's very good at getting consistent damage through as long as she still has the focus. On the other side, we have Dengar and 2-star Vipers and Cad Bane. Dengar with Notorious, Contraband, Punishing 1, and R5 P8. The droid gives you a reroll, and on a crit, you also suffer a crit. Then we have Guri with Debris Gambit and Advanced Optics. Debris Gambit is actually pretty nice because she gets the free focus anyways if she's within range 0 to 1 of an opponent. And then Advanced Optics is always nice on Guri because of it just turning a blink into a hit. Prince Zizor with the Crime Lord, Mandalorian Optics, and Virago. Crime Lord is basically just a worse Notorious, but it does make you have to be a little bit more choosy with who you're shooting and what maneuvers you can do. Finally, we have Cad Bane with Flechette Cannons, Toto, and Xandu Blood. This Cad Bane is a little different. His Flechette Cannons, if the defender is also in the bullseye, they just gain a strain token. But that's about the only difference from this version and his regular. Toto's pretty nice as well. You can gain a strain token and get a calculate and remove one stress. Yep. Seeing Dengar is kind of fun. Don't think I missed anything about him. Nope. He just gets the bonus attack if you shoot at him, so we'll have to see what the resistance prioritizes first, whether it'll be shooting the cheaper ships or going for the I6 threat. So what we might see, I don't know if he measured this correctly. I would think not, just based on where he is we're going to see Dengar, if it fits, sloop, which I'm pretty certain will throw him off the map. But sometimes people set him up like right here, have him go up this way, then sloop him, and then have him turn left back in. But I don't think he measured it for him to do that. could be wrong. I think you used to be able to. I'm not sure how much. What I-337? That's the droid that turns your banks into the weaker. Like those are the ones where the banks turn into blues and reds turn into whites if you don't have shields. I guess they do have the 4K, don't they? I kind of forget it. I always think they just have sloops. So yeah, just go quick with Dengar, then 4K, and you're fine. Just don't get blocked on the 4K or you're never getting unstressed. We are on turn 1. I did not start my timer. So what are they at? 1 minute and 1 hour and 10 minutes. They paused their timer too. Not sure what they're asking. I don't see anything in judge questions. Yeah, there are some pretty nice synergies between the SL CAD and uh, Xizor overall. What I like is the interactions between Xizor and Dengar, because you shoot Dengar, you're strained, and if you shoot Xizor, you're strained. And also CAD can strain you as well. So there's lots of strain and lots of ways to get the reroll for Notorious. And potentially, depending on who they shoot and when they shoot them, they could be double. You could get a strain on both attacks for the Notorious reroll. And then you always have the reroll droid too. So locks, you almost don't need them. Okay, looks like Ryszard is back. Yeah. Kendall might have had a call or something come up. Not sure. And Xizor gets to keep ditching stress. How does Xizor get to keep ditching stress? Did I miss something? Oh, I perform an attack against a strange ship. Okay, that's how. Yeah, I actually never read that part of his ability. I have yet to use that SL card. It's a really cool ship, but I like when if I'm bringing a 5-point Star Viper, I am beholden if I'm not going to bring Guri just out of pure principle. But that's a really good ability, especially when there's a Dengar on the board. You just shoot at whoever's still strained. Hello.
That's why nothing happens on our game. So soon we will come back to it.
I'm not sure I quite heard that. I think he's I think he said Ponderous was just doing something to come back. It was really quiet. So I'm gonna go make coffee while we wait. Feel free to hop out for a few minutes and do whatever, I guess. All right, they're back. You really think Salandra is the worst A-wing? I could think of I think if there's the worst one. Uh, I don't remember the name of him, but it's the one that's I think he's an I-4, and after you shoot, you give the opponent a deplete token. Because I think that ability is just really useless when half your ships are a higher initiative. And it normally that ability only works if they can't do a blue, and as well if they're shooting after you. I do agree, her ability isn't amazing, but there at least are some ways to use it. It's at least an ability you can say, hey, I used it. Greer is more like, hey, I used my ability, but it did absolutely nothing. You did a blue maneuver anyways, or you had already shot. Yeah, the ship that never skips the action step is pretty decent. Ryszard is the first player. Slowballing it with Nemi to keep Zori in range. I bet we're gonna see a plasma, at least I think we're gonna see a plasma go into Dengar this turn. I think he'll go fast enough to use it. As well, what's her name? Salandra picked up a crate. I think I'm reading that name right. Suralinda. Cad Bane going a decent speed. He will actually get to use his flechette cannon ability depending on who he shoots. And depending on how fast you're going, maybe yeah, we're gonna see the roll. Dengar is not going that fast, which means when you shoot Zori, you'll be able to strain her again, which will allow you to have him turn in, do a boost. I think he has boost focus. You can boost focus and then remove your stress anyways, because you're going to be shooting after CAD against a strained ship. Well, I don't know that Zori will be double stressed because she's going to she's gonna just remove the stress when she moves, but she will definitely be double strained for at least a time period if she chooses to take the lock onto Dengar. I think that's the correct decision, at least, is to still go into Dengar because Zori might just blow up anyways. I don't know. You can either go for like half points on CAD and then just make them have to shoot Zori again, because there's a very sizable chance that Zori doesn't make it through the round if you shoot at Dengar. Kind of depends on if Dengar gets a good first shot. Spends one of his 3 charges to do the roll. I'm surprised. He's giving Poe his complete flank. Maybe we'll see the boost calc from Guri. I think he boosts straight. Yep. No Scum ship picked up any crate though, so Resistance, even if they lose Guri or get half on Guri, will be keeping up. Resistance has picked up 2 crates. Alright. Zori did a 1 straight, which makes me think that we're going to be shooting at Cad Bane. Checking the range bubble, does not have Guri in range, so fine there. I think you shoot at Cad Bane because you don't want. I mean, it's about the same. You shoot at Cad Bane because Nemi isn't obstructed to him. Plus, if you can get Cad Bane not to hit you, that's really, really important because it means you won't be stressed, which will also let you do another double action with Nemi the coming turn. Okay, so Dengar did pick up a crate instead of focusing. I don't hate that decision because you know Dengar's not getting shot. But at the same time, you kind of want that focus so you can just obliterate Zori. Poe one straighting in, focus lock onto somebody. If I had to guess, it will go on to Guri but maybe he chooses differently. Okay, going into Prince Zizor. 3 dice into Zori. Gets the reroll with the droid, and you wish you had a focus. Zori will evade 1. Shooting at Zizor. 2 hits to begin, or 2 eyeballs to begin with, spends the lock. And the focus. Only going to be taking 1. It's a pretty decent outcome. You really wish to have gotten him to spend the focus if nothing else. I think that was the desired result. Be 2 hits after spending the calc because Guri cannot focus natively. And Nimi is fine. I think that's her name, please. Yep, Nimi. Your opponent just utterly decimated themselves, Bender? That's kind of funny. Hey, so I'm gonna re-roll. Oh, I killed myself. Oh, I'm super dead. 3 hits with the plasma torpedo into CAD. Into you spend your focus and just take the shields. And now we're gonna see Cad Bane try his best to hit Zori. I don't think Flechette Cannon needs to hit to give the strain. I think it just gives the strain. Nope, it does need a hit. So Zori could evade this. She will not. That's really sad. Gives the strain. Does he realize he can give the stress as well? I don't know what that measurement was. Cad Bane didn't. Cad Bane, you know you have the ability to give him the stress too, right? I guess he didn't want to. And that is a damage sensor array on Cad Bane. Down to 3. So resistance only took 2 shields. And did Zizor not have a shot? He didn't. That's what that arc was. It showed up at the bottom off the map there. Oh, he did remember the Cad Bane ability. Ryszard is a nice fellow. He let him do it. And some good sportsmanship. But yeah, that was not the first engagement you wanted against resistance. Especially since now, where do you go? You move Cad Bane, what? 2 bank to the right and one straight Dengar? But depending on what Nimi does, Nimi can block your ships, and Poe can get a really nice flank along with the A-Wing. Because you could be really mean here and do a 4 straight or something with Nimi, and just, or even the 4K, you could do the 4K pattern analyze a focus, turn around to shoot Cad Bane again. Just making sure he has pattern analyzer. Yep. So you do the 4K pattern analyzer, and then Prince Zizor will have to do a blue maneuver and probably bump into you, or he'll go too fast and jump over you. Well, Nimi gets to move first, and if Cad does the Talon, I'd be really surprised. Because it's only a 2 Talon, and if you're expecting Nimi to fly past you that fast, it's not a terrible move, but Nimi does not. She goes slow. I think that was a little bit of a missed opportunity, but because you can't give Zori the focus anyways, so plus Cad can arc dodge you. If he did the 1 bank, you're not shooting him anyways. I think the 4K was the right decision. Cad Bane does the 2 straight. I'm a little surprised by it, but it's not a bad decision. You just go for a block on Zori. That is true. If Nimi's still alive and present, which she should be, given that I think Zori's still the target, you can 4K behind them. Cad Bane is fixing his damage sensor array. Zizor did a 2 bank in. He does not have arc, I don't think, on Nimi. Yeah, the free calc is really nice. Scum will not pick up another crate, so they will go down 2 more points by the end of this round. Unless they're able to start really damaging these ships and getting them off the board, they're gonna fall behind pretty quickly. What did he do? Did he do the 1 straight? He did the 1 straight. I almost thought you should go with the 3 straight because isn't the 3 straight blue on the Y-wings? You could have tried because where Cad Bane went, you could have tried to jump over him and get Dengar to block you. And you might have actually been able to boost or roll out of the other Star Viper's arcs. Range 1 from Dengar into, I would have to assume, Zori. Only hit enemy ships. Yep, Guri does get her focus. I think it is a must on Guri, so she'd get it no matter what. No, it isn't. It's a May. Okay, so I'm wrong. I'm used to that. Going into Nimi. Okay. I think you should save the other shots for her because you want to. I, you would want to get Zori off the board, right? Maybe you're trying to get him to spend the focus, but the X-Wing, unless you're killing him, is just gonna not spend the focus. Plus now Zori can 5k this coming turn. That's an unfortunate roll by Guri. So shield and a hit. Oh yeah, Zori is still stressed. Never mind. 4 hits. Down to 2 on Nimi. But now Nimi gets to shoot back and will just obliterate whoever's over there. I think if you're Zori, you just shoot either range 0 or you shoot range 1 at Sizor and try and get him to spend the focus. Because your 1 green agility isn't going to save you from getting shot anyways, but you can either do damage or potentially nerf his attack so it does less damage. Well, that's an amazing roll. Hit crit crit into uh-oh. Damaged engine and disabled power regulator. That means he can't even do his rolls. He can't even do the system phase rolls. No. Does still have his focus because he rolled Zaddies on defense. You might as well. Oh, he's thinking about Nimi's shot though. I mean, you know that she'll just take 1 damage. If you get the 2 if you spend your focus, you get half points on Zori. You're arguably not living through next round anyways. And if you don't spend it, then I would, if I'm resistance, I'm shooting at Guri instead, because then I can just K-turn behind you anyways and kill you before you get to shoot or do anything. Chooses not to spend it. One more shield. Range 0. One hit. No evade. And if you're Nimi, I think you go into Guri here if you're Nimi, because she doesn't have a token, and you already know where Zizor is going to be next round because he's ionized. I don't know who he's shooting at, but oh my god. Well, went from saddies into natties. Blinded pilot. He has no friends, no abilities anymore. I agree. I think going into Guri would have been better. Because then you already know where Zizor is going. And then if you can take Guri off or even get a good crit through. Yeah, I was surprised he didn't even arc check. I would have been very tempted to just try and obliterate Guri before she gets to get away. That'll be 2 more points though at the end of round for resistance and 1 for Scum. Is half points not turned on? Yeah, there we go. That should be fixed now. Yeah, Dengar is going to do that K turn. The issue is, where does CAD go? Does the town roll right fit? Because I think you might try that. $4K by Nimi. There's too many Emmys in resistance. Five straights by Salandria. Selenot. Sir Linda. There we go. I'll eventually remember it. Do see the town roll by Cadvane. Bump by Zizor. He can't do anything anyways. He just focuses. Lives with life. One hard by Guri. I think that's about the best maneuver you can do. The issue is now you're getting shot by Nimi unless you kill her. and you know Poe's going to be right behind you. The two options you can do is the evade, or you can roll to the left and backwards and try and bump Poe. But I'd be worried about the procket by ZZ if you did that. Takes the evade, and he's taking the evade with Debris Gambit, and it's next to a rock, so it is white. Just see the one straight bump again by Zori. Three hard, cannot do anything fun, just sits there. Yep. You really hope that Guri just gets to shoot here, I think. If you're lucky, you'll have a mod. Oh, did Poe didn't bump. Oh, wow. He did the three hard. So definitely just focus lock. I don't know what he's debating. Poe's the only one who can use his ability at this time. Your A-Wings have crates, even if they could, even if you could roll them, they can't roll. The only thing I think he might be debating is whether he locks into Zizor to get the kill, or into Guri. Because Guri is blinded anyways, so you don't have to worry about her spending the focus on attack. Yep, goes into Zizor. I think that's a good decision. Oh, Zizor is blinded. Okay, never mind. Yeah, no, it would have been better to go into Guri. I thought Guri took a crit. That'll be 3 hits and a crit going into Zori. She'll take it all. Down to 1. And what is the crit? It is Blinded Pilot. That's not what you wanted to see. Oh, and he did the crit to himself. Right? Yeah. He must have used the reroll on the droid and he crit himself. No, no. They paused the timer again, so not sure what it's about. But that's it's so funny. Just blows the own crate off. I'm not sure if he rolled it natively or not. I'll have to check that. But if he used the droid to reroll, it would knock the crit off. If he just rolled the crit naturally, doesn't it just act like a normal crit and he doesn't take anything from it? I pressed the wrong button. What time are they at? It's 39. He might have just had to go on another phone call. It could be a busy day for Kendall. I'm not sure. Looks like he's back. He's moving his mouse. But if you're Kendall at this point in the game, really you have to kill Nemi. You have to hope that Zizor can put the killing blow into Zori before he dies. And then you need to get away with Guri and start doing some real damage with Dengar onto other ships. Cad Bane is already halved, but he's not near death yet. Zizor is one off dead. Guri is only 3 off dead. It's a big roll. And a very dead Zizor. Takes hull breach and dies. That will mean Zori gets to live for one more round. 4 dice going into Nimi. Can't spend anything, so it's just 1 hit. Or I guess she should have gotten the focus, but it is a May. They're probably just treating it as if it was. Spends the focus, lives on 1. Right? Took the card. Cad Bane is shooting into Nimi now, I think. Or is this... This is ZZ. Oh, had the procket. You had the procket. I like how they keep changing this objective down there, and he just rolled absolute pain. Cat Bane's dead. Taking the objective with them. I think they forgot to lock it down. Oh my god. The dice have been insane. Nimi did spend that focus. I don't think there's gonna be another round in all honesty. I think if Guri dies here, then he's gonna get 2 more objective points. I guess there'll be 1 more round. There will be at least 1 more round. Oh, Innkeeper, that's so sad. No. Holy, Nimmy, stop. You're lucky that she doesn't have the focus, but that would have been. You're really happy Nimmy had to spend that focus to live. Six to. I have 15 on mine. You can do some quick math. He's had 2 points every round. Half on Guri, which is 2. Killed Zizor, that's 7. Killed Cad, that's 12. Oh yeah, Innkeeper, if it makes you feel any better, he was talking with me and the XTC group yesterday, and he's like, "Yeah, Innkeeper outflew me. He was such a good player, and the dice just diced and saved me that game." So he thought you flew very well, and he also was saying the dice were very against you. That kind of reminds me of my XTC game too. Where I rolled the negative what 7 or 8 red dice. I don't remember exactly what it was at this point. I could go back and look. It was not fun. The real tipping point was when Vader took 5 double modded shots and couldn't roll 3 paint on a single one. Well, if you are if you're Kendall, I don't know what you do at this point. Cad Bane wasn't supposed to die there. You still haven't even killed Zori, which is the sad thing. Yeah, Nimi and Zori both living on 1 is really sad. If I'm not mistaken, Dengar should have a stress. He hasn't added it, but I'm assuming he's doing a 1 bank left. Oh my god, yeah. I wasn't really paying attention to that, but he has gone first every round. He should just start rolling his. I'm gonna be completely honest. He should just start rolling his road dice then, right? If his regular dice are failing him. At least you know they're gonna roll hits, and if they stop, then at least maybe you won't go first. going to see the stressful evade. It says, I just want to live. 3 straight by Guri. Still blinded. One hard does not bump. Wow. Nice move. I don't know how that doesn't bump. It does not bump though. There's the, did he do a 2 bank? No, that's just the 1 bank. Alright, so what you do is you don't shoot Nimi, and then you bonus shoot Nimi. I guess he's shooting Nimi. I think that's a mistake. You shoot a ship that's not... Because Nimi's going to shoot you. Right? I mean, I would assume. Because you could get half points, and he's so far ahead that there's no reason not to take the shot. Three into 1, unmodified. Doesn't get the kill. Can't roll a paint. Zori will shoot range 1, I believe, into... Nope, going range 0, actually. That's interesting, into a focus evaded ship. I mean, you just shoot range 1 because the other one has an evade and a focus. Two shields on Dengar. And I think if you had shot Zori into Dengar, you might have been able to get half points. I don't know that this perfectly fits. It might not. But I really like the 3 hard left by Suralinda right here. I think it'll land you right here. And you might be sticking out just enough that when Dengar does this 1 bank back in, his template's going to go over this debris cloud. For the first round all game, Ryszard is first player. Okay, so did the two bank. It's not terrible. Everybody's strained. I don't know why. Does starboard slash give you a strain too? That doesn't make sense. And then if you were in that ship's firing arc. Okay, so it's because he's still in the firing arc of Dengar. One bank by Guri. Most likely just gonna see another evade. You really can't afford to take that evade, but you also don't want to die. Takes the calculate. Might see a Talon roll right by Poe. Nope, the 4K. Okay. Now on to Dengar. Goes straight. Wow, that did not hit the debris cloud either. Now you're just staring at nothing though. Takes the stress focus as well, which is interesting. Not that it matters if Ryszard continues to roll 2 crits in every single thing. Alright, and that'll be game. That's half points on Dengar. What are the crits? Do they care? They don't care. Changes nothing. Still half pointed, even if it was 1 damage. Right? No, I guess you need 2 under this shields. Feel like into hull breach, into directs. Dengar. Oh my god. No! No! Oh my. So the Fulik pops, and then the direct hits into another Fulik. Shouldn't he take one more? I guess that was 3 hits. But this, I think he should take one more. Maybe I'm wrong. Because the first one was the Fulik into a hull breach, so that's what popped this one. So this is 1, 2, and this was a direct, so that would pop this Fulik, and then you'd finally take the 3rd crit, which should have been here. Oh well, doesn't matter. We'll see the continuation, and he'll blow up because of Fulik. We're pretending this was all in one shot. We're gonna pretend that second shot didn't exist. Gets 2 more points for objective at the end of round. And the game will finish 25 to, I believe, 6. Yep, 25 to 6. Just utter destruction from Ryszard's list. Rolled very, very good red dice. Let's see, actually. Yeah, that would do it. Rolled plus 10, well, plus 9 red dice to -4 red dice. I don't like blaming dice, but, you know, plus 9's pretty good. Plus 9's pretty good. Especially when your opponent is rolling negative. There's a difference of 15. Green dice were average on both sides, but that doesn't matter when your opponent's rolling natties every shot. I'm not sure what that brings the Foxes up to, so let's check. Was this a deciding game? No, this was not. So Foxes have already won the week. You at least don't have to worry about your game mattering. But the Foxes will have won 4-2 now. All right, and with that, I will see y'all later. Thanks for joining.